Hello everyone. In our second chapter is matter around us pure. We have done elements in pure substances. I told you pure substances are of two types, elements and compounds. So elements we have done already. Today we are doing compounds. What are compounds? Compounds are substances which are composed of two or more elements combined together in fixed ratio by mass. That means when elements combine, then they form compounds. But it is compulsory to be combined in fixed ratio by their mass. If we are taking the mass of elements, then it should be fixed for a particular compound. For example, this is water. H2O is the chemical formula of water. Here H2 means 2 hydrogen and O. If no number is written with it, that means it is 1, single we have taken. So hydrogen element 2 atoms we have taken and oxygen element 1 atom we have taken. When we are taking their ratio, fixed ratio by mass, so we have to take their ratio hydrogen is to oxygen ratio. Mass of hydrogen atom, 1 atom is 1. So mass of 2 hydrogen atom becomes 2. That's why I have written it here 2. 1 for hydrogen mass, 1 this, and 16 mass of 1 oxygen atom. So we cut 2 and 16. The ratio comes 1 is to 8. This ratio is for hydrogen is to oxygen. That means in water, ratio of hydrogen and oxygen elements is 1 is to 8. Whether we are taking water from rain, pond, tap, river, stream, from anywhere we are taking water, the formula of water will always be H2O, because hydrogen and oxygen will always combine in this ratio to form water. Second example I have taken for carbon dioxide, CO2, carbon dioxide, 1 carbon and 2 oxygen. When we are taking ratio of their masses, mass of 1 carbon atom is 12 and mass of 2 oxygen atoms is 2 into 16, that is 32. So ratio becomes 3 is to 8. So carbon dioxide, whether it is formed from respiration process, by burning process, burning of coal, burning of cloth, burning of wood, anything, then its ratio will always be 3 is to 8. Same we can see that if I will take example of CO, this is CO2, carbon dioxide. If I am taking example of CO is carbon monoxide, then what happened? 1 carbon is to 1 oxygen. Mass of 1 carbon is 12 and mass of 1 oxygen is 16. 12 is to 16. So ratio becomes 3 is to 4. Here you have seen, if CO2, carbon dioxide, 2 oxygen are taken, then ratio is 3 is to 8. But in carbon monoxide, when 1 oxygen is taken, ratio comes 3 is to 4. So these are the ratio by mass. If ratio is different, compound is different. Next is types of compounds. Based on their origin, from where they originated, it is of two types, organic and inorganic. Organic we use for living things. So these are originated from living sources. Living sources can be plants, animals or microorganisms. So if we are taking compounds from these things, then these are organic compounds. Examples are glucose, proteins, etc., which are made in plants and used in animals as well as in plants. Second one is inorganic compounds. Inorganic means in non-living things. So the compounds originated from non-living sources are called inorganic compounds, and examples are chalk, water, etc. These are made of non-living things. Next, properties or characteristics of compounds. How we can tell that given substance is a compound or element? So, first, an important property which gives its definition is compounds are made of two or more elements combined in fixed ratio by mass. So here elements and a fixed ratio is compulsory. Elements combine and form compounds. So example I have taken here, you can write same example here also. Second, properties of compound are different from its elements properties. Means if we are taking example of this water H2O. The property of water is to extinguish fire. But when we are taking the properties of its components or elements, hydrogen and oxygen, then what happens? Hydrogen itself burns with pop sound and oxygen helps in combustion of anything. Means hydrogen burns, oxygen helps in burning. But when they both combine and form a compound water, then water help in extinguishing the fire, not helping in burning. Same we can take the example of carbon dioxide. Carbon is present in coal, wood, etc. So carbon itself burns and oxygen helps in burning. But when they combine both, compound carbon dioxide forms, then in the presence of carbon dioxide, anything cannot burn. So these were the examples for this point. Next is components cannot be separated by mechanical or physical methods. Components, this water. If we are taking water, we cannot separate it by simply heating, hammering or by applying force. It is not possible to separate hydrogen and oxygen both. It is done in very special conditions. For example, when we do electrolysis, when we pass current through it, only then it can be separated. Otherwise, simply mechanical. Mechanical method means where we apply our force, hammering, cutting, etc. And the physical methods includes evaporation, boiling, condensation, etc., mixing, etc. So, by these methods, it is not possible to separate the elements of any compound. Next point is, compounds are homogeneous in nature. Homo means same. So, when we see water, if water is inside it, you can't tell where is hydrogen, where is oxygen. Both are mixed properly. That we cannot see them separately. These type of substances are called homogeneous substances, in which both mix together and look like single one. So, compounds are homogeneous substances. Next is, compounds have fixed melting point and boiling point. Due to having fixed formula and fixed number of elements and their ratio by mass, their melting point and boiling point is also fixed. Water always evaporates or boil at 100 degrees Celsius. So boiling point of water is always 100 degrees Celsius, whether it is taken from river, pond, tap or anywhere. Next, formed by chemical reactions. Chemical changes are in chemical reactions. Only by them we can form compounds. Simply we can't do that. Take hydrogen and oxygen and mix both and make water. It is not possible. If it is so easy, then there is no scarcity of water on the land, because water is not formed easily. So simply we cannot form the compounds. we need special chemical reactions, and in that chemical reactions we have to give energy or take out energy from it or give special conditions only. So by chemical changes or chemical reactions only compounds can be formed. And the last property is energy changes takes place during its formation. When compounds are formed, then energy changes. It can be given in or it can come out. And this energy changes can be in the form of heat, light or electricity. In case of water, I told you, electricity is passed only then its components separated. Light energy can be there when we burn something, then carbon dioxide gas is formed, carbon monoxide gas is formed, water vapors are formed, all these things are formed, these are compounds. Carbon dioxide, carbon monoxide, water or many other gases like sulfur dioxide, nitrogen oxides, etc. So all these are compounds and these are formed when we burn something, then it comes in the form of gas or smoke, and we can see the energy change in the form of heat or light. Heat is given out and that fire we can see, that is due to light energy. So these were the properties of compounds. We can take some more examples of compounds. Anything which having fixed formula that you have ever listened. For example, hydrochloric acid. It is also a compound. H2SO4, sulfuric acid, CaCO3, calcium carbonate, C6H12O6, glucose, C12H22O11, sugar or it is also known as cane sugar or sucrose. So all these things having fixed formula, so all these are a compound. So we have a lot of compounds that we use in our daily life. Water, carbon dioxide, hydrochloric acid in our stomach, hydrochloric acid or sulfuric acid to clean the stains in washroom, pots, sinks, etc. Cane sugar, it is used in daily life, and this glucose is present in our food items. Every food item we are eating and getting carbohydrate from it, it contains glucose. So all these things are compounds. So next we will do mixture in next topic. Thank you.